900, 901, 902. Oh, stop now. It's that music gets me going every single time. I'm sure you're the same at home. It's like the music's like some sort of bad, like 80s, is it like Jane Fonda or someone like workout video? I think that...
The Poseidon Adventure, the Bermuda Triangle, you know, upstairs, downstairs, that kind of thing, Ben.
Yeah. Hello, you.
Hello, you.
What are you doing over there?
Well, I just thought I'd come for some giggles today, Ben. It's a new year, new craft, and I thought I'm not going to be left out of that, Ben, because it's really a bit exciting. So I'm here to look at some watercolouring today.
Amazing. I'm so happy that you're in the studio with me. Leann is here for the next 2 shows today, and I'm super duper excited. And I tell you what, the right person to be here really, because it is New Year, New Craft. If you have just joined us, we're doing it all this week, hence the silly video of me in the gym. And each and every day we're concentrating on like a different discipline of craft, if you like. So yesterday was all about die cutting. We had a brilliant day yesterday, 2 brand new launches with Sarah. Loads of you grabbing those launches. Lily was here yesterday as well. And also yesterday, you guys were firing in your questions all about die cutting. It was brilliant that we could answer all of those for you. And today, as we said, it's all about your colouring. So this show, we're going to be focusing on watercolouring. A little bit later on, we're going to be focusing on your alcohol colouring. But these shows really are for you if you're brand new. I know loads of people have joined us over the course of the last few weeks. These are brilliant for you to maybe help you decide what sort of area of craft you want to go into. If you've got any questions at any point over the course of the show to do with colouring, fire them our way, whether you're watching on Facebook or indeed on YouTube. We've got Radical Rachel on the socials this afternoon, so she'll fire the questions to me. I'll fire them over to Leann. And if we do happen to miss any of the questions, because we had a load last night, chances are one of our lovely crafty family in the comments will answer them for you. So whichever way you get the questions answered. If you're not brand new to us, this is also a brilliant week, perhaps to brush up on your skills, maybe potentially to refresh your memory on a few bits and pieces, or like I've said, maybe you haven't done a lot of colouring for a while, maybe you're just into your die cutting and your stamping or whatever it might be, and you want to get into colouring. It's a great week to kind of expand your crafty horizons. So really, really exciting. Over on the website, just to mention before we start the show in earnest, we got a 23% sale. Took us a bit of time yesterday to work that one out. 2023, you see, that's the relevance there. So 23% off. Yesterday we had 23% off a whole host of die cutting products. Those deals are still there, but we've now added another box on the website with 23% off a whole host of colouring items for you as well. So if you click on that main logo on the homepage, picture of Debbie Fisher, click on that, you'll see the drop down with die cutting up to 23% off, colouring up to 23% off. So really worth exploring. Also very exciting today as well, because we on this show get to officially launch the brand new Academy of Colour. I know you guys are hugely excited, and I know lots of you, particularly our US viewers, were with us over the weekend and took advantage of an amazing deal that we did on the original Academy of Colour. This is the next one to go for, your Cute Characters Academy of Colour. Loads of you have been waiting for it. It's box number 4, and it's here today, right now, with a saving of almost £15, over $20 you're saving. If you're platinum, you're down to £27.19 or $35.96. Also worth bearing in mind that if you are new to us today as well, hit the Club Inspire logo on the website, sign up to the club for free, and if this is your first order, you will get that price there, 20% off your first order, plus a whole host of other benefits for joining the club, which of course is free as well. Now, I know a lot of people bought the Academy of Colour Cute Characters during the Wake Up Call preview show. However, I also know that many of you took advantage of one of our showstoppers. Yes, each and every day we're doing a showstopper deal where basically we are giving you a deal which is going to, well, stop the show. So this showstopper deal brings you the brand new Academy of Colour. All right, so that is going to be in the showstopper deal. But then alongside that, we're bringing you some of our sparkle ink pens, the glitter brush pens. You're getting those in the soft pastels. You're also going to receive one of our Explorer kits. That's the watercolour kit. That's worth $11.99. You're getting a set of our aqua markers as well, the primary colours, worth $22.99. And as if we thought about it, we're also going to give you a pack of our watercolour card as well. Basically, the deal on this works out that you buy all of this, you're getting everything else in the bundle, which is worth £52 or $77 for just over £20 or just over $20. So it's a really good stash builder. Over a third of the stock of this is now gone. And as we said yesterday, the Showstopper deal yesterday was absolutely flying out of the door. That's what most people were going for. Loads of people going for this today. Once this is gone, that's it. It won't mean that we've sold out of the box, so fear not on that front. We've got more boxes, but we've only got a limited amount of the actual Showstopper deal itself. So over a third of the stock has gone there. If you definitely want that, with all the extras, with all the trimmings, if you like, you do need to be in on that early. It's £44 platinum or $52. Having said that, you can get the Cute Characters box individually on its own if you want to go that way. It's horses for courses. It's entirely up to you to decide which way you want to go on that. A few quick hellos, and then we'll say hello once again to the lovely Leanne, who is with us. Eileen's in from Puerto Rico. Hi to Robbie from Alabama. Hi to Stephen and Sam McDonald from just up the road. Janet's joined us from Michigan, and Melanie D from Florida. Christine Mahoney says, hello, Ben and Leanne. I'm going to love this.
Christine.
She says, I'm going to love this show. Very certain.
Oh, well, I feel I have a lot to live up to. If you've decided you're going to love it before we've even done anything, Christine, we've got a lot to live up to there, Ben.
Exactly right, but we've decided it is going to be a brilliant, amazing show, so you'll be fine. Tracy Bollinger says, cool, this is my first live. They can be hard to catch.
Ooh.
It'll be a good one. And Zoe Carver is coming with the first question today saying, Leanne, we want to know if the angel stamp is designed with you in mind because it's a good likeness.
The angel stamp on here?
Apparently.
Oh, this little girl here?
Yeah.
This one. Do you know, I'm so flattered that you've said that. That is actually designed on my granddaughter.
Is that right?
That's Ada.
That is so cute.
Yes, because we were trying to do a really cute little fairy angel and we weren't nailing it. And I said, do you know, what we need is just something cherubic. I said, my granddaughter, she's got the curls and the cherubic, and I was showing the designers a photograph of her, and we did that. So it's actually based on my granddaughter Ada.
So it's like a mini you, really.
She does look like a poor girl, does look like her grandma.
What do you mean, poor girl?
Yes, she does. She does look like her grandma, yeah.
Great first question, and I'm glad that we found that out. Let's get into this, though. The brand new box, and Leanne, maybe as we're just going through this as well, for anyone who's been sort of maybe hiding under a rock over the course of the last year, and they don't know about our Academy of Colour. This is like the next sort of bolt-on box, isn't it, from this amazing thing that we launched last year?
Absolutely, it is. So it's number 4, Ben. So we did the main launch, and then we've done portraits, we've done feathers and fur, and flora and fauna as the next launches. This launch is the Cute Characters, and so is the 4th that we've got for you, and is focused solely on those beautiful Cute Characters in there, and you get everything that you could possibly need. You get your new alcohol markers, you get your new watercolour markers, you get the stamps, the card that you need as well. And then, of course, there will be the live and recorded tutorials that we do for this. And for those of you shopping this box, we're going to be doing the tutorial for this box on the 25th of January. So actually for this one, unusually, normally we've already got it recorded when you're buying it in the UK, and it's there for you. But because we've had Christmas and we've had some things going on and a little bit of and just things to juggle, we didn't quite get it done before Christmas. And so we're now going to be doing it, and I can tell you exclusively, I've just agreed the date today, on the 25th of January. So on the 25th, if you get this box home, if you decide you're going to get it now, on the 25th of January, the link in the box will take you to the live education piece. So you'll be able to watch along live with all of your friends from across the water in the USA. And I think that's really quite something special for this box, actually. I'm looking forward to being able to talk to so many more of you on the 25th of January.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And of course, if you want to kind of catch up on any of the other Academy colours that we've got, do check the website. I think some of them have actually sold out, but do have a look on the website to kind of catch up with those. Already the questions coming in, and I'll tell you what, we'll kind of bundle together the questions in just a little while, but let's discover all about this box first of all. The Cute Characters. What are we going to be getting in the box, Leanne? Okay,
so what you're going to be getting in the box is, of course, your Cute Characters. Now, the Cute Characters are all of these lovely little people here, and I'll show you them on there. Now, when I designed the cute characters for this box, Ben, I made sure that you had a little bit of something in all of the characters to practice what you've already been learning in the previous boxes.
Yeah.
But so that also, actually, if you're just a cute character lover, that you can use this box and not worry about the fact that you haven't got the previous boxes. So it speaks to whether you're collecting or whether you just really love the images in this box. So what you've got here, you can see, is you've got your little mouse with your umbrella. So we're going to be doing our shading and light and shade, and the white flashes with the acrylic marker we've already covered. We're going to be doing textural colouring for fur. We're going to be doing folds and clothes and skin and an ombre on leaves. We're going to be doing the soft blends for the light and shade there on the little mouse and in her dress. You can see the swirls on the cupcake and the lines on the wrapper. You can see the light and shade in the floral here with this little cat, and then this one here with all of the little flowers there, how to get the dimension in those. So there's techniques in every single one of the images that we've included in the box, and we're always very, very specific about that, so you can follow along that education and learn some new techniques. If you just love those characters because cute is your thing, then it's a fantastic box for you, and still great value for money just for the stamps and everything else you get in there. So they're the characters. You also get your 6 alcohol markers, which are different to the markers in all of the previous boxes, and your 3 aqua markers, which are different to all of the markers in the previous boxes. So you've got 12 colours new to this box, 6 colours new to this box in the aqua. You've got those markers in there as well, and there are the colours you can see. So there's some nice soft little pastel ones in there, which are going to be really complementary to some of the deeper and darker shades that you've got in some of the previous boxes. I know there was a little bit of a furore. A Ferrari, Ben. A Ferrari. So some people got their box early and thought we'd give them an empty pen.
Oh.
And that is this TB05. You can just see that there is a subtle colour there. It's a very pale, pale blue.
Oh, yes.
I've done that on purpose, the blue porcelain. There is reason for that, and you will find out in the education. So it's got a very subtle colour in there. Don't worry, it's not empty. We would never send you an empty pen. Can you imagine? My pen's empty. We just thought that would be fun. No, no. So you get your full sheet of acrylic stamps in here, 8 by 8. We've just looked at those images coloured in. You've seen your pens, and you get your watercolour and alcohol colour card in there as well. And you get a goodly amount of both. You can see there's quite a wedge there. So you get all of that. You also get the panel to put it in your binder. Oh, yes. So you'll get the little white panel where you stick your stamps on, and that goes in your binder. That comes too in the box, Ben. And then they just fit into the binder if that's what you're collecting. This gives you an idea of the types of things we're going to be doing. So here, all of the images are coloured in alcohol. Okay. And here, all of the images are coloured in watercolour. So you're going to learn how to colour these cute characters both with alcohol marker and with watercolour marker. And of course, today we're going to be focusing on the watercolour aspect of it, which you'll be able to see. So that's everything that you get in the box, Ben. It's crammed. There's a lot in there.
It is crammed, and like you said, you know what, value for money wise, even if you're just after a lovely selection of cute character stamps with all of the other goodies that you get in there as well, really amazing value for money. But for those of you that are on that journey, on the Academy of Colour journey, of course you need to be picking this one up because it's that next step. £27.19 platinum, $35.96. Thank you for all the questions coming in, and also I love doing this when we do an Academy of Colour show. Tell me and tell everybody else why you're loving the Academy of Colour. Let us know how your journey's going. Let us know how many hours of the education that you've watched. Let us know how much your colouring has improved. I love reading it on, on Facebook when you guys are posting saying, you started here and now you're kind of here down the line. Let us know. If you want to send in pictures as well, feel free to. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Maybe you took some pictures when you first started on the Academy of Colour and you're now, I don't know, a few weeks into it and you're taking some more pictures. Let's see how you've improved. I'm sure loads of you have done that and you've already seen like a dramatic improvement in your colouring. Let's get it nice and interactive this afternoon. Share those pictures, share those comments as well, because I think it's a great way to inspire other people too when, obviously we're going to stand here and sing the praises of these collections and the Academy of Colour because we know how good it is, but it's even better when it comes from you because you've obviously had the experience of it at home and you can tell everybody else as well. We are going to dive fully into that in just a second. I do also just want to tell you about some other deals that we've got on on the website, our Watercolor Essential Star Buy collection. This is brilliant again because you're getting 35% off. You're going to get a set of our pen trays included in there. Also within that, with watercolor in mind, we're getting you 15 sheets of our watercolor cardstock. You're getting one of the really handy craft mats. Also some of our round refills for your round blending tools. You've got one of our waterproof ink pads in there too, and you're also going to get the 9x12 premium watercolour pad included as well. So that's £55 worth pretty much of product, $82 worth that you're getting for just £28 if you're platinum. Really great deal. $36 if you're platinum and shopping in the US. Again, just nice way to kind of build up your stash and a lovely kind of extra added item to work alongside the Academy of Colour, which I know you're picking up today. And also, of course, if you're picking up the deals that we've got on the show, you obviously can want other things to colour in too. So we've got the Watercolor Explorer Kit. This is a 7-piece stamp set with lots of lovely selections of stamps in there. We've got stamps from the Vintage Butterfly range. We've also got some stamps in there from the Portraits collection. There's some florals in there. Some of the little cute characters that made the little bookmarks are in there too. I can see some flowers from the Sunflower collection as well. It's a lovely set of stamps, again, for just £24 or $28. That is a £32, $40 saving if you want to pick that up today. Lots of love coming in for the stamps. Louise Catherine Ditch saying how lovely those stamps are. Julie Foster saying my 11-year-old is looking forward to trying this collection. And Sam McDonald says, I can honestly say Leanne is a very good teacher. She does everything step by step. She's very informative. And I love my collection of the Academy of Colour.
Oh, that's really kind. Thank you, Sam.
And isn't it nice to hear as well, because I think this is important to stress, that Julie's saying her 11-year-old is doing it, because this is for everyone, isn't it?
It really is for everyone, and we really do take it to the beginning and try to cover every step along the way. So for those of you who are already on your colouring journey, so many of you are saying, do you know what, it's just been great to regroup and have a think and maybe learn a couple of new things, but also just have a try of something different or a different technique. But the most of you who've been commenting are those people who are have been on a journey and been frustrated or not happy with what they were doing. So you've gone back to the beginning with us on Academy of Colour. And those of you who are starting from scratch, as though you've never picked up a colouring medium before, and the results that you're getting and how proud you are of the results you're getting. That's, for me, the most important thing, how proud you are of what you've done and the joy you've had when you've used the kit. I think that is the most powerful aspect of Academy of Colour. And so many of you are doing it with your children and your grandchildren and seeing that you're getting great results with them too. And actually it's helping their creativity as well, because they're feeling like they've achieved. So often in school in art, I know I was told I was no good at it, don't even try. Here I am at making a living from a creative role, and my art teacher just said that I was wasting my time because I couldn't draw. But there are many other ways of being creative, and I think that's what Academy of Colour is doing for you. It's helping your creativity really come to the fore, and for that reason it's the thing I'm the proudest of, Ben. In all of the 13 years that I've been with Crafters Companion now, it was my anniversary last week.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you. 13 years. I would say this is the thing I'm the proudest of. Yeah. Because it gives so much to so many.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's so lovely to read all of the comments, and I think, you know, how long have I been here? 2.5 years. I think out of everything that we've launched, I think it's the product that potentially has changed most people's crafty lives, and it's the one that you read, that I certainly read most about, and the amount of people who say, you know, it's completely revolutionised the way that I colour. So in that regard, it's amazing. Loads of comments coming through. We'll read those, but let's get started. By the way, I just must read this one very quickly from Charlotte, who says, Leanne, I've just had major surgery on my hand, wrist and arm, and the rehab have agreed to use markers and pencils for my exercises. Oh,
fantastic. Yes. Well negotiated. Yeah. Well done, you. A woman after my own heart. Negotiate hard. I really do love that. Good for you. And I hope you get better soon.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Right, what we're going to have a look at.
So one of the things I'll show you is, we've talked about what's in the box, but I talked about the education on the 25th, didn't I, as well? I want to show you what that means. So for every single one of the images in alcohol and watercolour, in that education, I will upload one of these for you. And what that does is break down every single image into the stages to get to the finished result. And it tells you the colours and what's happened under each stage so that you can work through and build that up. So if with the education, when you watch me physically deliver it live, you can then go back and use these resources time and again. If you don't want to watch it, you can print them, or they're always there for you on the Facebook group. And this particular education session comes with I'm going to go quick because you don't want to watch them all of these tutorials for you. Every single one of these all being worked out. This is what you're going to get access to on the 25th. Shows you how to do all of these colourings, watercolour and alcohol, all the way through. All being worked out for you. Additionally, what you get, and you love, and this never ceases to amaze me, Ben, but you absolutely love it when I give you my handwritten notes.
Oh, really? What?
Everybody, please don't stop giving us the handwritten notes. You just get my notes to myself about what I've done. So because I can't remember, there's 20, I can't remember everything. Yeah. And also I'm getting to that age where I forget stuff easy. So I just make notes. And so I upload all of these for you as well. So you get the video, you get the step-by-steps, you also get the handwritten notes, and you get the photographs of all the finished cards. So the resource that you've got there, and by the way, none of that is charged for. All of that is free. Yeah. And so when you look at the quality and the content in the box and the bundle that you're getting, and then you look at everything else you're getting, that amount of education is actually worth more money than you're paying for the contents in the box, Ben. But we just give it free because we want you to have a really wonderful time with it. I think that's what makes Academy of Colour so incredibly special. Now, we're going to be having a look at some watercolour techniques. So we're going to have a look at how to do this. And we are going to be using Ada, as we'll call her, now that it's been revealed.
Absolutely.
Now that it's been revealed. We'll have to have one done for Edie. I can't have Edie feeling left out.
Can you imagine? No,
can you imagine? So we're going to do that. We'll make one for Edie later. Now, this is a piece of paper in the background here, actually. But I wanted to show you how you can create your own background, and then we'll have a look at how to colour the little girl as well. So to create your own background, I've got a piece of watercolour card, I've got my brushes from the Academy of Colour, the original set. I've got the large and the small, so if you've got those, you'll need them. If not, something of an equivalent size. And then the first thing I'm going to do is just prime my card. Oh, I've got kitchen towel as well. Kitchen towel is never far away when I'm using watercolour. This is a pot of clean water. There's nothing else in there. And then all I'm doing is priming my card, which means it's just preparing it to receive some colour. That's all I'm doing. So that's just a little bit of water. Then what I've done is taken one of the aqua markers from the new cute character box, and this is your red, violet and orchid. And then I've got one of the markers from the aqua bundle that comes in the beige bundle as well, because all watercolours will play together. So you're not restricted to only the ones in the box. You can use any, Ben. And I'm just going to scribble some random colours down on my mat. And I quite like the pink and turquoise together. So they're going to get put down. This card dried pretty quick, so it's going to get a little bit more water under the studio lights. And that's just so it's ready to pick up the colour. I tell you what I could do with, Ben, if you could ask Tracy, I don't know if I've got one, a heat gun.
Oh, okay.
Yes, heat please.
Gun. Let me just, I'll go and see if I can find it.
Thank you. And then I'm pushing my card into the colour I've just scribbled down. So that's just getting rubbed in there. And then what you do, and I can see that colour, you can see here that colour starting to come through, so I know it's picking the colour up. And then when you've given that a good rub, just pick it up straight. Don't worry about that. I'll get rid of this colour for now so that I don't make a mess. And then what you do is you start to move that around on the background. So if you see this here, you can see you've got splodges of colour, you've got missing pieces. That's what we're aiming for. So you're going to take your spritzer, and your spritzer comes in the main box as well, or we've always got them on the website, and just give it a little spritz, which will start to move that around. You can see there. And then with your brush, and you will need your heat gun as well.
It's coming.
It'll be coming, I know. Is just start to move that around. And you can see what happens then is the two colours start to mix a new colour. So I've got a purple starting to come there. And then with my wet brush, if I want to add more colour in, I can just pick it up from my mat. So I can scribble this down and then pick it up. I'm being careful not to put too much on because I know the heat gun's on its way. Here it is. Tracy's on her hands and knees. Here, let me help you out, Tracy. Thank you. I'll have this bit. She's honest, bless her. Give us a little wave up here with your hand, Tracy. There she is. There she is. Just so you know, she's a real person. She's plugging it in for us. I'll come back to that in a second. Thank you, Tracy. Honestly. Literally, I mean, she was like the Tom Cruise of craft. We needed the It's Tracy of the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. Thank you, Tracy. I really appreciate that. So you see, what I'm doing is moving it around. Now, where I don't want it to move too much, give it a blast and dry it. So just use your heat gun, and that stops it moving round. So it dries it on the card. What goes wrong often when you're doing backgrounds like this is you just keep putting more and more water on and more and more water on, and then everything just mixes into one messy colour. So if you give it a little blast with your heat gun, it stops that happening. But it does mean that you can start to layer up more colours. So you see, I can put some more colour down on my mat.
I always think it's a less sort of pressure way of colouring with your watercolour, isn't it? It's more forgiving,
absolutely,
isn't it?
Ben. Yes, 100%. Absolutely it is. I mean, there is no right and wrong.
No.
And there is no it's worked or it's failed.
Yeah.
It's purely what you've got. So I always say, and so many people actually went on, I found this surprising actually on the Academy of Colour journey, but so many of you did tell me that actually watercolour you were more scared of than alcohol colouring.
Is that right?
Yes, and I found that very surprising.
Yeah, me too.
Because I always say it's the thing that I would recommend everybody starts with at watercolour, for exactly the reason you said. There is no right and wrong. It can't really be right. It's not going to fail. It's just going to be okay, yes. And it just, you know, you're a little bit happier or a little bit less happy, but you just keep adding a little bit more or use some water to put some in. You can see I've got some gaps here. So what I'm doing now is on my wet card, I'm just dabbing that in and filling in the spaces. And then with a little bit of water, that'll all move around. Yeah. And then it starts to look like that blended background, and you just keep adding a little bit until you're happy. It's entirely up to you. It's your piece of work. Yeah. And look, where I cross them over, it mixes the new violet colours. And when you are completely happy with it, that's when you stop and you give it a final blast with your heat gun.
That can be sometimes problematic though, can't it? Like knowing when to stop.
Knowing when to stop, exactly. So I've got a little bit down here that still I'm not 100%. I'm happy with what's happened up here. Yeah. But I'm not happy with that. So because I'm not happy with that, and that's just because it looks a bit bitty, I just get some more colour. Yeah. On my brush and take that and then just dab in and over.
Do you find that's generally how you use your watercolour pens more often than not? Scribbling them down onto the glass mat?
I do. And actually in your first Academy of Colour box, those of you who got that, you will have a palette. Right, yes, a blending palette, a little acrylic blending, acetate blending palette in there. I use that more than anything. If you didn't get that and you've got a glass mat, you can use your glass mat. Yeah. When you're happy with it, give it a final blast, and that's created your background for you. Okay, so easy to do. Wet the card, wax some colour on it, dry it. Yeah. That could not be more simple. No. So you're creating your own backgrounds as you go. If you do want to do some faux bleaching's really easy. You just splash water at your project. Yes. So I'm flicking it. Then you take your piece of kitchen towel, put it over the top, press down. And the longer you leave that water that you flicked on it, so if you left that for 5 minutes before you've done what I'm doing now with the kitchen towel, the more intense the result is. Because what happens is the water gets picked up, the colour picks up, and it leaves all those little white splashes. And actually, what I would say is if you've done a watercolour piece and you're not 100% happy with how the blends happened, notice I said I wasn't happy with this down here. I'm now thrilled with that down there because the faux bleaching has made it all look a little bit distressed. Really nice. So it always fixes it for you, a little bit of faux bleaching, I think. So that's your background. Now we can move on to doing the colouring of the little girl, Ben, if we would like to do that. And we're going to start with our detail brush this time. And we have got our kitchen towel again. Always have a piece of kitchen towel at hand because that takes all of the excess water away. Now, on my instructions, and I'm reading my instructions to myself here, and you can do the same thing. I've got them in front of me. It says, start with peach. So that's what I'm going to do. And peach, I believe, is in one of the previous boxes. Let me find it. No. Where are you, Peach? Looking for Peach. Peach, where are you? There it is, I found it. You sounded like Ada. Ada does that. Flamingo, where are you? Portraits, right. Okay, so we're going to start with Peach and we're going to put a little bit of colour down on her face. Now, you can go direct to the card. So this is with a watercolour marker. You can see I am actually going direct to the card here. You can do that, but only when the card is dry. Yes. So I'll show you why you can't do it if the card isn't dry. Here's a piece of scrap cardstock. This is dry watercolour card. So I'm going to say this piece here is dry.
Yeah.
This piece beside it is wet.
Okay.
You can see that because I haven't cleaned my brush properly. It's a bit pink. There you go. That's wet, okay?
Right.
Now, if I put my marker down here on the dry, and then use a wet brush, I can move that marker around. I can move the colour around. If I put it directly onto the wet, it wouldn't move. It would stain completely. So I wouldn't be able to soften the edges of it.
Gotcha.
So you can only use your markers on director card or dry card, Ben. Okay. Right, so once we've got that colour down, and we're going to do her face and her arms, we're then going to have a look at her hair.
Okay.
And watercolouring is the most forgiving of all of the colouring techniques.
Yeah.
And I'm following here the guidance I've given you and other things about where shade is and where light is in the middle of a face, where it's darker, where it's lighter on a body, darker on this line, on this arm, because this one's casting a shadow on it. So all of the guidance you've already had throughout the Academy of Colour is relevant in each one of the new classes on each of the images. So you take what you learn at first and then we expand on it as we go through. So we've got the little bit of base colour down on her face, and then I'm just going to soften that. So you see what's happened there, Ben, and I'm just going to stop with the face and show you the difference between the arm. See, because it was on a dry card, I've been able to soften that watercolour now. Already it looks like it's dark around the outside and there's light at the centre of her face. But you can see it's harsher on the arms and legs because I haven't softened that watercolour. That's what I mean about using it on wet card and using it on dry card. If I'd gone straight in with a marker on some damp card, I wouldn't be able to do the movement that I'm doing now to get the wash and the light and shade. And you see, look, I've just got a damp brush and I'm just manipulating it, Ben. This could not be more simple. You can all do this. And obviously we would do things much more speedier on a show like this than I will on the education, because there's only me and you, meaning everybody at home on the education. We don't have any other information to give anybody, so you know there's no interruptions. Please take that in the nicest possible.
Jolly's just gone, so yeah, you get Ben on it.
No nicest possible terms, but you know it's that you know it's just very, very focused on learning new techniques and teaching you how to get the most out of your watercolour. So you see, what I've done is taken a little bit of that same colour now, and because I'm going into something wet, I'm picking it up from the palette, which is above here, so you couldn't see I did that. On my glass mat up here, I have scribbled some of the same colour I've used on her face. So I've scribbled my marker here, like that, and then I'm picking up that colour here, so you can see what I'm doing, and painting it into the darker areas. And that's how you apply colour when you've wet the card. You can't go direct to it. You pick it up on your damp paint brush from a palette or a glass mat. And then you can clean your brush. Keep cleaning your brush. That's another top tip from me. If you keep cleaning your brush, it means you're not contaminating what you're doing with the colour that's being picked up on the fibres. And that's what lets you smooth out, but keep your preserved highlight, which is in the centre of her face there, as you want it when you're watercolouring. Okay. And the same would apply for doing her arms and legs. I'll do it here so you can see it. I would put a little bit of colour on the mat, pick up the colour, and then just apply a little bit more shade where I want it. When I've got that, clean my brush. So I've got a clean, damp brush, and at that point, that's when I drag out the colour and do the blend. If you don't do the clean in between, and so you've got a clean brush, you end up with flat colour because the colour keeps coming off the brush onto the image. You don't get that light and shade. So the biggest lesson you can ever learn is to continuously clean your brush when you're watercolouring, and always have this brush clean, not with colour loaded on it.
Interesting to know as well on the comments, like whether you prefer your watercolouring at home or whether you prefer perhaps more colouring with the alcohol pens. Miriam just says, I love watercolouring since taking the Academy of Colour classes. Linda says, I was afraid of watercolouring until the Academy of Colour, but you've obviously tried it, but you say you still prefer alcohol colouring. But the great thing about the Academy of Colour is you get the chance to do a little bit of everything. So I suppose if you feel that you're more of an alcohol colourer and that your watercolouring isn't as good, you've got a chance to improve your game that way, and vice versa, haven't you? You've got
absolutely, Ben. you've got the best of all worlds in there. You can do everything, yes, and you can just focus on the thing that you love. Now, I've just taken one of the markers from the cute character box, which is Spice, and that's a little bit deeper, and that's going to allow me to add a little bit of deeper shade in here where I want it in her face, and that's really going to make her face be three-dimensional. So you can see I'm picking up the tiniest amount on the edge of my brush and applying that. You really only need a tiny bit. That's the other thing I would say is it can be a common error with watercolouring, picking too much colour up on your brush and then it just travels too far and it overwhelms what you're doing. So once you've got that in place, we can then go back again with our clean brush. Notice I cleaned my brush again and just smooth that out around her face. And I'm probably going to leave it there because I'm pretty okay with how her face is starting to look.
Brilliant.
Now, if that feels too stark for you in the centre, that highlight, what you can do when you've cleaned your brush again is just do a little wash over.
Okay.
And you see immediately now that doesn't look as stark as it did before, white card, because it's taken a tiny little bit of the colour and done a little wash. So it's just taken that intensity of that white away for you and your preserved highlight. So we'll continue on and we'll do her hair and we'll do that. And you can watch me and talk if you want, Ben, because it's going to be exactly the same. You're going to watch what I'm doing. It's not going to be any different to what I've already done, but you can see me and talk to you if that's okay.
Brilliant. Well, I'll read some more comments out and then we've got some questions coming in as well. So if you're happy to colour and answer questions.
Absolutely, out and do both.
Marvellous. The Showstopper deal details on your screen right now. Whoa, 35% of the stock has now gone. Very popular indeed. So you're going to get the brand new Academy of Colour, your cute characters. And then you're getting everything else that you're seeing in shot right here. So we're giving you a set of your watercolour cardstock. You're getting your aqua markers, your dual tip markers in the primary colours. You're also going to get one of our discovery kits, again in the watercolour. And we're going to give you a selection of our glitter brush pens as well in the soft pastels. All of that coming to you for that price of just £44.52 if you're platinum. And worth bearing in mind that all the other added goodies that you've got there are worth £52.77. It basically equates that you're paying just over £20 or $20 for everything else within that bundle. So that's why a lot of people are seeing that as a great way to go. And again, it kind of just extends your Academy of Colour kit. And as you're seeing with Leanne, you know, she's using some of the aqua pens in this demonstration from this particular bundle. So it's a nice way to go if you just kind of want to extend everything that you've got there. Few comments and we'll do some questions. Robbie saying, I never miss Leanne's. Her shows are amazing and she's always full of great tips. Hi to Louise, who's loving the stamps. Gillian says, I've just ordered the cute characters. I'm looking forward to doing colouring. Oh, I'm looking forward to colouring Leanne's granddaughter. I hope I do her justice, says Gillian.
I'm sure you will, Gillian.
Mary Beth Dawes says, I brought the Academy of Colour in order to get Leanne as a teacher. She's the best colourist and a great teacher. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Lots of Leanne.
I always feel a little bit like, ooh, awkward. Do you know what I mean? Because it's really kind. And I mean, all I do, here's the thing, Ben, I don't set out to do that. I just set out to share the tips and tricks to make life easy so that you enjoy it. Because I know I was a frustrated colourist for years when I first started, and it took a very good friend, Sheena Douglas, to teach me how to colour properly. And from there, I've just wanted to share what I've learned along the way, Ben. That's all it is.
We'll take all of the praise because you deserve it.
Thank you.
Louise says, great meeting you at Guildford, Ben. Great meeting you too. I hope you watched that programme I told you about. I don't know. You'd have to remind me. I'm a bear of very little brains. I haven't watched it, I don't think, because if I had, I'd know what you were talking about. Deborah says, just started watching and Leanne explains so much detail with shading and grey pen, going to watch before I start colouring. I've enjoyed what I've watched so far. And Julie Foster says she's clearing her diary for the 25th. I can't wait to watch Leanne show us how to colour cute animals. Only just got into crafting in December as I needed some more me time, says Julie. And colouring is a great thing to do as well for me time.
That's how I got into it, Ben.
Was it?
Yes, I had a very stressful job in the NHS.
Yes.
And I just needed, like that, I needed a little bit of me time. I needed just some, you know, some escape. We were going through some pretty stressful things, some pretty horrible, uncomfortable things at the time. And I just needed to be able to switch off and do something different. And I started with a little bit of heat embossing and colouring, back from watching Jane Nesterenko on Create and Craft, actually.
Yeah.
And from there was completely and utterly hooked, and then it became my full-time job.
Do you get a lot of time to do it as a hobby now, or not really?
Not as much as I'd like, Ben. I will not fib, because a lot of time is taken from doing the actual day job.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, another admission, if I've done it all day, I don't really want to do it when I go home.
Yeah, a bit of a busman's holiday,
Bit of a
isn't it?
busman's holiday sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's where my crocheting came in, because what I can't do is not be creative.
Exactly right.
I have to be creative. I
Yeah.
have to be doing something which doesn't feel the mundane.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? I need to be creative. I have to have busy hands. I can't not have busy hands. And that's where crochet came in and sewing came in for me. I went on a journey of doing something creative but different in my own time. And that's why I do the crochet a lot now.
So you had your own sort of New Year, New Craft experience, didn't you?
I did.
See?
Yes. I've been doing some polymer clay, Ben.
Oh, have you?
That's been my New Year, New Craft. Yes, I've been doing some polymer clay. It's very addictive.
Is it?
Yes, it's great. It's lovely. Please let me know if you've tried it. I've really loved doing that. And I think that's nice, isn't it, to challenge yourself with something new? And that's what you can do with this kit, isn't it? If you've been watching and you haven't done any colouring because it's New Year, New Craft, it just gives you something else to have a go at, a new skill, a new little bit of something different, something you can feel really proud of.
I think it's nice as well if you've got someone to share it with also. Like a lot of people saying that they've done it with granddaughters and daughters and grandsons and sons, and you know, even with older members of the family as well. If you've got somebody that you can kind of learn along with, I think it makes the journey even more enjoyable. Rosalind just saying, watercolour, my first experience with Spectrum Noir, and mistakes can create a great design. And that's what we're talking about, particularly with watercolour. It's funny, isn't it? So I've done a bit of colouring, and I've done, I'd say on air, I've done more watercolouring with our guys, just for the fact that, you know, I've seen the demos and you think to yourself, yeah, you can kind of get away with more mistakes. And it wasn't until the back end of last year that I actually tried some of our alcohol pens at a show with Craig, craft along with him. But thoroughly enjoyed that as well. Once he sort of took me through it step by step, I found out how easy it was to work with both of them. But like we said, the great thing about this collection is, and the Academy of Colour as a whole, is you get a selection of everything. So you've got the best of all worlds. Leanne says, Christine Mahoney, all the information you've given, and we are only 40 minutes into the show. I love you, says Christine Mahoney.
Oh, Christine. Do you know what? Thank you so much. I love you too. It's just, we all love each other. It's a big, happy crafters family. There's a lot of love in the room.
Yeah.
I just think it's wonderful that Ben and I get the opportunity to, through the power of TV, come into your homes on a regular basis and talk to you, because that's what we're doing, isn't it?
Exactly.
And sharing our love of craft,
Yeah.
giving you an opportunity to get some good deals, but also just showing you some things that you can do that's going to help you at home. I think that's the joy.
Would you like some questions whilst you're colouring?
Of course.
All right. So Sean Sterling says, Leanne, why is watercolour card textured, and is there such a thing as smooth watercolour card?
That's an excellent question. So it's textured because of the way it's manufactured and milled. And there are smoother watercolour cards, but they don't allow the colour to move as well as a textured card.
Right.
And it's the way they're milled. So for example, Nina alcohol paper, disastrous with watercolour. It'll just grab the ink and it won't move anywhere. So your watercolour card needs to be quite pulpy and raw for the water to absorb and move, which is why you've got the texture in there. You can get pressed watercolour cards, but because they're pressed, it almost seals it, so the colour doesn't move as well. So that's why the card in the box and the card that we sell you is always going to be textured, because you'll get the best results.
Marvellous. This is another good one from Coletta, who says, question for Leanne. If I wanted to use watercolour on part of the image, i.e. the skin and hair areas, and alcohol in other areas, i.e. the dress and wings, what paper could I use? So if you wanted to do a mixture, would that be a bit tough to do?
It is going to be tough to do. Now, the reason I'm going to say that's tough to do is I would never advocate, bearing in mind what I've just said to you about watercolour on a Nina card is disaster on an alcohol card, and I would never advocate using your alcohol markers on a watercolour card, because of the nature of watercolour card, it's porous, so it sucks the water in, holds the water, which means if you put your alcohol marker to it, it sucks all of the ink out of your alcohol marker. So I would say that's very tricky to do, and I wouldn't advocate it. So therefore I can't recommend you a card to do it on, because you're going to get a disappointing result with either one depending on what you do. A way around that would be to stamp it on watercolour card and colour the bits that you want to be watercolour. Stamp it again on alcohol card, colour in the bits that you want to be alcohol coloured alcohol, then fussy cut them out and glue them over the top of the original watercoloured image.
Wow. So there is a way around it.
There's a way around it, but it's a faff. Yeah.
Good questions, everybody. Do you want some more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can have as many as you like.
All right, okay. Brenda says, Leanne, how do you recommend storing tri-blend markers?
In our trays horizontally.
Good. Hello from Indiana, says Lynn Bledsoe.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
Lynn says, I already own ink pads from another brand.
Oh.
Oh.
Exactly.
There's a horse in it. How do I know if they would be good to use with watercolour or alcohol markers?
Oh, tell me which ink pad it is and I'll tell you.
Okay. It's easy to know with us, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, because we tell you.
Yeah, exactly. No scratching of heads with us. Yeah,
No.
let us know and Leanne will tell you. And Charlotte wants to know, can we buy extra panels for our favourite stamps?
The white panels for the
yeah.
binder. We haven't planned on that, but that's not to say we can't.
Okay.
It's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Leave it with me.
All right. Excellent stuff. I think, are we up to date on questions? I think we may well be. I might just to say hi to Terry, who's joined us from Ohio, saying I'm late to the party. Baby Bailey has a spa day with the groomer.
Ooh.
That's the dog.
Ah, okay.
Baby Bailey.
Is it called Baby Bailey or just Bailey?
Oh, I don't know. Baby Bailey.
Baby Bailey.
Baby. I think just Bailey. But they're all our babies, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. Our new puppies, we call her little baby girl. She's our little baby girl, little Molly. Ben says, Terry, your new video reminds me of a Jane Fonda workout. The music is spot on. Same leg, says Johnny. Oh, dear. Louise says, Leanne, your colouring is amazing and I have learnt so much from you and I am ordering the Showstopper.
Yay.
And hi to Stephen, who says, afternoon everyone, I've just got the Academy of Colour Showstopper. It's very busy for the Showstopper this afternoon. Lots of people are, we get mesmerised, you see, when we watch you, Leanne, and we forget to order the items that we want. You're kind of like a wizard with your colouring and you cast a spell and we all just sort of sit there and watch and don't order. So we'll take a break in a little bit so that you can get your baskets checked out. Did you have a good Christmas and New Year, by the way? I feel like I haven't seen you.
Well, we haven't seen each other, Ben. I had a very quiet Christmas and New Year, thank you. It was just me and Mr. C.
Oh, okay.
So it was very quiet. First time we've had that in 32 years.
Oh,
Normally everybody's at our house. So it was just my son and his partner Annie and the girls, they'd been up for 2 weeks before Christmas, so we'd had a big family occasion with them and they went down just a couple of days before Christmas back home so Santa could come, bring all of their presents and have Christmas dinner at home, and they live a good 5 or 6 hours away from us, so it's quite a journey. So actually Simon and I just decided that we were going to stay at home in our pyjamas for as long as we like.
Nice.
Drink fizz and eat whatever food we wanted whenever we wanted.
Perfect.
And watch telly. Rubbish telly. And we watched some great telly, actually.
Yeah.
We had a lovely day, Ben. We did similar on New Year, and I would highly recommend. I was a bit nervous, I won't fib, because I thought, we're used to having so many people. I thought, I don't know if I'm going to love this, but I loved it. So it was very restful. How about you?
Well, yeah, it was all right. We had a quiet Christmas. Again, we were sort of in our pyjamas for most of the time.
Nice.
We watched. Did you see the new Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell movie, Spirited?
I haven't watched that.
So good.
Is it good?
Very funny.
I need to watch that.
It's an updated version of Christmas Carol.
Right.
A musical. It's very, very funny. So yeah, we had a lovely Christmas time, and then just after Boxing Day, went back home to Devon and saw the family.
Nice.
And they gave us the Christmas gift of a lurgy.
Oh.
And I was poorly for about 10 days. So, you know.
Well, caring is sharing.
Caring is sharing. I might do what you've done this year.
Yeah.
Just stay at home.
Stay at home.
Stay at home, mind my own business, sit in my pyjamas and drink fizz.
That's exactly what I did, Ben. Honestly, I highly recommend it. I had a lovely time. I really did. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, we thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, literally a little bit bar humbug, you could say.
Well,
but it was lovely. We just enjoyed the time alone.
I totally get it, and I did suggest to Laura, my wife, because she was sort of saying, "Oh, how long are we going for to see the, you know, the family?" And I sort of suggested back. I said, "I'm not actually that bothered about going home. I'm quite happy to stay up here and just do my own thing." And she had to sort of cajole me into going back home for a few days. So again, a little bit bar humbug. But now you said what a great Christmas you had on your own. I'm definitely doing it this year.
I recommend it, Ben.
PJs and fizz.
Yeah. It's the future of Christmas, really it is.
Yeah.
It was marvellous. I mean, Simon and I were just opening our presents and having our first glass of fizz in our pyjamas at 11:45 in the afternoon.
Showbiz, isn't it? That's the
It
lifestyle.
was marvellous. I felt like Nigella Lawson wafting around in my kimono. Don't look like Nigella Lawson, but you know, more Miriam Margolyes wafting around in her kimono. But you know what I mean? Thinking Nigella in my head, Miriam in the flesh. I think it was more like that, actually, Ben. Oh, dear. But it was glorious.
Oh, dear.
Now, you'll notice what I'm doing here with the skirt. I've taken portions of the skirt and I'm doing little panels individually. And the reason I'm doing that is, with watercolour, if you do everything side by side straight away, the nature of the beast is it all wants to merge together because of the water.
Yeah.
So you lose the definition. So what you do is you just focus on each of the little panels one at a time. And then with your heat gun, keep drying them, keep cleaning your brush in between, keep drying. And once they're fully dry, then you go and do the other panels. And that's how you'll get movement in the skirt. Have we launched this yet?
Yes.
It's marvellous, isn't it?
It is marvellous. I think we did it just before Christmas. And of course with the foam.
Isn't it?
I literally could not believe what you can do with that foam.
Isn't it fantastic? Yeah, with a heat mouldable foam. Absolutely amazing. That heat gun is exceptional.
Yes.
Because it's nice and quiet. I don't know if you know, but if you've heard heat guns like this before in the past, it sounds like a jumbo jet's taken off.
Well, you can't hear each other across the studio,
talking, but this is nice and quiet.
Yeah.
So it is very, very,
it's
very,
dual
very
speed
good.
as well, isn't it?
It is dual speed, yes, it is. Absolutely. And even the high speed is quiet. That's the low speed.
Oh!
Yeah, that's the high speed. Yeah.
Do low?
I can talk to you, you can talk to me.
Do the low speed? Do the low speed?
Slow speed? You can't even hear it, can you?
I can't hear it.
There you go. Yeah. Isn't it amazing? It's a so if you want it, be on the website, won't it? Right, so I've dried those panels. So then what I do is I go in and do the other panels. Now, when I do them, I follow the same method. So I'm just putting a little bit of water on, so getting the card ready to receive the paint. And then what I do is the same as I've already done. So I'm going darker on the left, lighter on the right. So a little bit of colour down, and then I'll dry it, and then I'll go and put more definition in. The key to this, when you're doing an area like this where you want definition and there's lots of things next to each other, is to keep drying in between.
Question sort of on that front from Janice, who says, when I watercolour, Leanne, and it dries, I can see watermarks. Does that mean I'm using too much water?
No, and it's the nature of the beast. You will more or less always, because you're using water, you can always see water on the ones I'm doing. So for example, this one here is finished. Bring this one in and you can see it on the overhead. I'll move that, hang on the way. So you can see that. You can see watermarks on there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay, because it's watercolour.
Yeah.
So I would say don't try and get the result of an alcohol coloured piece with watercolour. You'll be trying for an eternity.
Yeah.
The joy of watercolour is that it has that natural, organic, painterly feel to it. And you'll never get it smooth where it looks like alcohol colouring with watercolour because it's the nature of the beast. You're using water. So once you've dried it, then you can pick up a little bit more and then you just go in and you put in your shadow down that side. And what that does is create all of the kind of folds and movements in the dress for you. And you know what? There's no watercolour police, Ben. It can be, you know, whatever you want, whatever you're happy with, whatever you're proud of when you've done it. Yes. That's all that matters. Have you had a nice time doing it?
Yes.
Did you feel relaxed?
Yes.
Are you sitting back and looking at it and going, well, do you know what? I'm really pleased. I've improved since the last time.
Yeah.
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And if that's what you're saying to yourself, then you've achieved. That's what it's about.
It's exactly right. It's all about the experience and enjoying it. Like you said, it's not your bit of artwork's not going to be hung up in the National Gallery, is it? At the end of the thing. So there's no pressure like that. You should just sit back, enjoy, have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I know a few of you are sending in pictures as well, actually, which we're hopefully going to have a look at. And like Leanna said, it's great, isn't it, to be able to sort of start on your journey, keep practicing, keep going, keep having fun, and see how far you can get with it and see how you improve, because I can almost guarantee that if you, taking up these Academy of Colour classes and watching all the videos with Leanne, your colouring is going to improve so much. And like I said, particularly if you've got the original one, because you get all the little pockets, don't you? And you get the binder, keep all of your work in it. And I would date it as well, so that you can go back and compare and contrast. I think it's a great way of doing it.
Excellent suggestion, Ben. So you notice that I was using the aqua marker that comes in the big bundle, and I just used a very fine tip to put a little bit of colour in, and then I've just dragged that out on the shoe, and that gives me the nice light and shade on a shoe.
Yeah.
So just enjoy the experience with watercolour, Ben. You really do not have to give yourself any kind of stress or concern over it. It's going to look lovely whatever you do. I mean, I've just been doing that as I'm talking to you, and it's coming together really quite nicely. Yeah, absolutely. Now the wings I will do in exactly the same way as I did the dress.
Okay.
So I would pick little pieces of the wing and do little areas and then dry the bits going in between. So I can show you that, or we can...
Tell you what, we'll have a look at the finished one, I think, and then we're going to have a little bit, because we're almost an hour in, unbelievably.
Are we?
We are.
Where's that time gone? Oh,
well,
my
we're
word.
having fun, aren't we? Actually,
we are having
fun. Flying over.
So once you have added that, so you see here on the wings, that's what I'm saying, you would do the same as I did with the dress. So you pick a couple of pieces of the wing, dry it, go and pick a couple of pieces more, dry it. And then when you do that, you'll have some light and dark areas, and that's what it'll achieve. When you get to the end and you're happy with your little girl, as we've been colouring, and you can see the one that I was doing is well on the way to being exactly that. So you're just going to follow the instructions and you will get exactly the same result. Then when you pop it onto a little card base, and remember, we looked at how to make... Now, can I just, for a second there, Ben, just point this out?
Yeah.
That now that it's fully dry, looks like a different piece of card.
Right, I'm not doing this for effect. This is genuine reaction. That's what you did at the start of the show?
That's what I did at the start of the show.
Well, it looks completely different.
Completely different. Now, there was some areas where you would be forgiven for thinking, does she really think that looks nice? Because there were some darker areas and some speckled pieces and what have you. And you could be forgiven for thinking at home, that's failed. I haven't done a good job. Put it to one side and just let it dry naturally, because the watercolour keeps moving while it's damp. We dried it, but it's still damp. Keeps moving, keeps doing its thing. And then when it settles down and it feels absolutely lovely. And that's the background that you've got there that you could then mount your image onto, and you've created your full artistic piece. And you've got your instructions there. Little background yourself, a little bit of watercolouring yourself with that lovely little Ada, and you're going to be thrilled with what you've achieved.
I just think that has been such a wonderful first hour. And of course, if you're enjoying what we're doing here with kind of like TV time restraints, think how much you're going to absolutely love all of the digital content that you've got with the Academy of Colour as well. And don't forget the content for this brand new box coming your way in just a few days' time, 25th of January. So again, all of that information, all of that education, the hints and tips with Leanne, no annoying presenters like this guy to put you off. And of course, once you've got that content, you can then watch it at your own pace. You can pause, you can rewind, you can fast forward, you can come back, try it again. If you don't pick something up the first time, no bother, just start over again and keep going until you do. And that's all of the kind of added added content and all the good stuff that you get alongside the good stuff that you get in the boxes as well. And that's why the Academy of Colour has been so popular. If you just want to get the cute characters on its own, that's brilliant, that's fine. You can get the box on its own. So it's the 4th of the Academy of Colours. Don't forget the next one along your colouring journey. So if you're already in the Academy, if you're already doing the journey, you absolutely need to jump in and grab this, and you'll already appreciate just how brilliant of an Academy it is. £27.19 today, so you're saving almost £15, almost $21, and it comes down to $35.96 if you're platinum and shopping in the US. However, if you'd like to kind of get more bang for your buck, the Showstopper deal is the way to go. And this is where the majority of people are shopping today. Again, people are loving these Showstopper deals. We're at 40% of the stock of this is gone. Once this is gone, it's gone. It doesn't mean the box won't be available. It just means you won't be able to buy this configuration. We've only put together a certain amount of these for a certain amount of you. So once this is gone, that's it. And the value here is that you get your brand new Academy of Colour. We're going to give you one of our Discovery kits in the watercolour. You're getting a selection of our primary colour aqua pens as well, the dual tip watercolour pens with that beautiful Japanese brush nib. You've got the fine ultra nib the other end. You've got watercolour cardstock included in there too, and you've also got a set of our glitter brush pens in the soft pastel. All of that added value is actually worth £52 or $77. It works out that if you go for the bundle, you're only paying just over £20 or $20 for that. And you're going to get 50 bonus points towards your Club Inspire total as well. So it really is the way to go. Platinum members is £44, just $52. Do not miss out. Mary just said, I love watercolouring, and the look of watercolouring is so relaxing to do for me. And Fred171 has just said, when using the Academy of Colour colouring tools, I'm so relaxed that my Fitbit thinks I'm taking a nap. Well, there we go. The ultimate in relaxation. That's what we love. Listen, we are going to give you time to check out your baskets right now, because particularly on Leanne shows, we know you get stuck and focused on what Leanne's doing. So now is a chance for you to get checked out. You will miss nothing over the course of the next 3 or 4 minutes. So get your baskets checked out. When we come back, more hints and tips, more of your comments, more of your questions in the final hour of this amazing show. We'll see you in just a few moments.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
I have to tell you, every single person works tirelessly behind the scenes, and I can't just give a shout out to one person, because for me it has to be John, Tracy and Jake.
Going to give a shout out to our backstage hero, and I'm actually going to say heroes. It has got to be our product coordination team. It's got to be.
Because without those 3 people, when we're on air, we wouldn't be able to function like we do. They make sure we have everything we need, right from the samples to the product to having a drink of water throughout the show. They really look after us.
You see us day in, day out, 7 days a week, live on TV. We're crafting away. We're hopefully inspiring you. Every single card, every single product, every single tool that we touch has come from product coordination. Those guys are the unsung hero. They're there making sure we have the products, we have the inks, we have the tools, we have everything that we need. We have the power to actually work our Gemini ranges. The smooth running of behind the scenes of Crafters TV is all down to our product coordination team.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
That was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on catch-up at crafterscompanion.com. Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafter's Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
I'll tell you what, loads of you just checking out your baskets there. I was just listening to producer Johnny, and you took the opportunity to get those baskets checked out, so well done. Carol Guy, one of those, you said, I've just ordered the Showstopper and I cannot wait for it to arrive. I just love Leann's teaching. And that's the thing, again, you love these shows, you love when Leann's here in the studio, picking up these Academy of Colours. You've got your very own little mini digital Leann, who will be there to hold your hand and take you through it all, which I just think is brilliant. Hi to Pam, Pam Patton, the magician from Michigan, yesterday. That's going to stick, Pam. You say, I'm happy for this lesson today because I was watercolouring a background last night to emboss one of the Crafter's Companion's 3D folders and it wouldn't blend right. But now I see that I didn't wet the cardstock first. So thank you, Leann, says Pam. There you go, picking up hints and tips along the way. And thank you to Ray Livingston, just before we move on, who says, I frequently say that the greatest value in doing something is not did you win, not if you have produced something of monetary value, but it's did you enjoy doing it? And that, I think, is a great mantra. Did you enjoy doing it? If you did, then it doesn't matter how it turned out. It doesn't matter what other people think. If you enjoyed it, that's the main thing. Let's have a look at some other goodies that we've got for you on the show today. So like we did yesterday, loads of the buy one get two free sets over on the website. You'll find these on the Shop the Day page. If you love our sassy and classy stamps, we've got these on a buy one get two free. So you buy the True Friend set and we give you the other two sets for free. Can you believe that price? $7.99 if you're platinum, or $10.39. 20 stamps you're going to get in total. That should be £30. Over $38. Really great price on that today. One of my favourite stamp and die collections next, the Illustrated Animal collection. I remember when we launched this, I remember how popular it was. 65% saving today. You're getting the owl, which is the You're a Hoot, and you're getting the other two sets again for free. This should be £45, over $50. Platinum, you're under £12. You're $13.56. Really, really great value for money here. We've got a set of assorted stamps, so the photopolymer stamps here. The cat in the box. Yes, there's the cat. We love the cat. You're getting the have a lovely day set there, and you're getting the congrats and the cat in the box. I mean, it even comes with a bow tie and a tie, for goodness sake. I mean, why would you not want that set? £6.39 if you're platinum. $7.96. That is a perfect collection to pick up at a knocked down price. Great deal on our watercolour card too. So this is the premium watercolour pad. You're getting 20 sheets in there, and alongside that you're getting two of the Royal & Langnickel brushes as well, size 3 and 6 for free within that set. So again, really, really great buy. Buy the pad, get the brushes for free. Equates to just £7.99 if you're platinum, $15.99 if you're shopping in the US and you're a platinum member. And then we've got our Happy Thoughts set as well. This also on a buy one get two free set. And once again, you buy one of those sets, you get the other two for free. So you've got the cute little bunny in there, the time petite, and then these beautiful florals as well. Again, look at that price. That should be nearly £24, $30. You're under £7, under $8 if you're a platinum member. And then another great set, Rocker Blocks. Buy the Rocker Blocks, get your ink pad and the mixing palette for free within that bundle. Again, almost £17, $30 you should be paying there. It equates to a 40% saving, then less your Club Inspired discount. We assume the majority of you are platinum, so you're just down to £7.99 or $11.19 if you're shopping in the US and you're a platinum member. If you have just joined us, if you've just tuned in, welcome along. Day 2 of New Year, New Craft. Yesterday it was all focused on die cutting. Today we're focusing on colouring. This show particularly, we've been looking at watercolouring. Tonight from 6 o'clock, 1 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be looking further at alcohol colouring. So if that's the kind of thing you want to learn more on, then we'll be focusing on that for 2 hours later on. And we've got another Showstopper to bring you in that show later on. Showstoppers right across the week and a different sort of craft each and every day, which is just brilliant. You know, brushing up on those skills, or indeed if you are brand new, New Year's resolution to start a new hobby, start a new craft. Hopefully we've got everything covered for you over the course of this week. And one other thing quickly to mention is don't forget to keep checking back to the website, because we get 23% off items within the particular discipline that we're focusing on each day. So yesterday, die cutting, we had 23% off a whole host of goodies there. That page is still on the website for you to check out, but we've now also added another page where we're giving you up to 23% off a whole host of colouring items as well. If you go to the homepage of Crafters Companion website, you'll see a lovely picture of Debbie Fisher. You click on Debbie and she'll bring up all of the boxes for you so you can get shopping. The Academy of Colour, though, that is our launch in this show. It is the Cute Characters box, and so many of you are shopping for this right now. There's lots of people I know who have jumped on the Academy of Colour bandwagon recently. Obviously, those of you have been collecting it since we launched it, and that's why hundreds of these have been flying out of the door. It's box 4, £27.19 for the Cute Characters box. Everyone saves this price here. If you're platinum, you're down to $35.96 if you're shopping in the US. Lots of people going for the box on its own. Many more of you as well going for that Showstopper deal too. If you have just joined us, we're live and interactive. Any questions you want to throw our way, please feel free to. It can be to do with the Academy of Colour. It can just be a general question to do with colouring. We are saying pretty much nothing. Well, nothing is off limits. I mean, you know, be sensible with your questions, but pretty much nothing is off limits. On Facebook, on YouTube, fire those questions in, and any more testimonials you want to fire away about the Academy of Colour, we'd love to hear from you. We're going back over to Leanne now, because we've delved into the Cute Characters box, and we thought we'd have another little look at some other goodies in there. What have you got next for us,
I've
Leanne?
got a true cute character for you, Ben, and we're going to colour in this lovely little mouse.
Aww.
So we're going to have a look at how to do this, and we're going to have a look at how you can use different colours in watercolour to give you a new colour, and how to get your shade by adding a little bit of black or a very dark brown. Because that's the joy about watercolour as well, is the fact that the colour you have is never the colour you're stuck with. You are with alcohol, that is the colour you've got. Whereas with watercolour you can mix new colours, because water makes them all blend together. Okay, so we're going to start with chestnut, and I'm going to be using my glass mat. I'm going to do all of my colouring from the mat. Now, when you colour from the mat with a damp brush, what you don't need to do is pre-wet the card. You don't have to pre-wet the card.
Right.
You can just go in on the dry card. The pre-wet for the card is when we did the skin, and when we did the background, that to get that kind of blend. But if I want to be really precise with where I'm putting the colour, so I don't want it to start moving around, I can leave my card dry. But what I have done is make sure that I've put my brush into the water, and that I've taken off the majority of that on my kitchen towel by just touching my brush to my towel, which I'll let you see. There you go. So I'm putting it in the water, and then I'm touching the brush to the towel. That takes off the majority, but just leaves it damp enough. So I'm not drying it like this, because then I'm fruitless for putting it in the water. So put it in the water, touch it to the towel, give it a little roll, and that's the optimum dampness for your colouring.
Okay.
Then you're going to pick up the colour that you're going to colour with, and I'm using chestnut here. And then I'm just going to paint it on. And so you see, by using my brush damp onto a drier card, I can be more precise with the application.
Okay.
So it's not running away from me.
Yeah.
So if you struggle with watercolour running away from you, so you see it hasn't gone into the handle of the umbrella, and that's very fine and straight. That's because I'm keeping the brush damp only, not wet. And I'm using dry card, picking the colour up and painting it on.
And that's the difference, is it, as well? Because obviously watching you using the watercolour, so sometimes you're doing what you do now and applying the ink to the glass mat and then taking your brush to it. And then other times, perhaps you might, as you did earlier on, take the pen to the cardstock and then draw the water out that way.
Yes.
Is there a particular reason why you do one particular thing or not?
So not really, it depends how you feel. I could have done that face on that little fairy exactly as I'm doing it here.
Okay.
I suppose it's personal preference.
Yeah.
You won't get a better or a different result either way. I would think you've got a little bit more control doing it this way.
Yeah.
This is my personal preference. But what it does do is show you the different ways of doing it so that you can find your preference. What I don't like to do is ever just show you one way and say you must do that, because sometimes it doesn't feel natural. So I think it's nice to be able to find your own way. Yeah. So I like to show you a couple of different ways. Now, I've gone over a little bit into the tummy there, and I am going to paint this brown in a minute, so I'm not going to worry about cleaning it out. But if you did want to clean somewhere where you'd made a mistake, just pop a little bit of water on it from your clean brush, and then go in with your kitchen towel and give it a mop, and it'll clean up the error for you. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now, I want this to be a little bit darker in some areas, so I'm just showing you how I'm starting with the mouse. And actually, just so you can see, I'm following my instructions again, and of course you'll have access to these.
Oh, you will.
So I'm showing you how to build up the colour on the little mouse. So we're doing that with chestnut, and then I've got tan here, which comes in the tan comes in the Q character box.
Okay.
And then just to deepen this a little bit in some areas, to add some shade, because that's now it's dark, but it's a flat one colour. To just make it a little bit deeper, what you can do is take a deeper brown, your damp brush again, so you practically want most of the water off, pick a little bit up, and then you can go and add in a little bit of shade in the areas you would like.
Let's say hi to Kate, who's joined us, saying, hey everyone, I've ordered my Academy of Colour. I have them all, but not opened any yet.
What?
Oh, I'm saving them until I have all of them, and then I'm booking a week off work to make a start.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that is quite a good idea, but you can obviously, you don't have to wait for them all to arrive,
that,
do you?
isn't it? It's quite exciting.
But that'll be a good week, wouldn't it? Because there's hours and hours of tutorials.
Well, there's
18?
already 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's about 13 hours.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And with more to come?
Another 2.
Yeah.
So we're getting up to nearly 15 hours.
15, 16 hours. Wow.
There'll be, in total, at the end of the programme, 18 hours.
Right. Because there's another...
There's another 2 after this.
Yeah.
They're both pencils.
Yes, and we're not spoiling that for the fact that if you've already got the original Academy of Colour, you'll know, because it's all in the...
Yes, it's all in the folder.
In the index, isn't it?
Yes, there's no surprises. We know what's coming, it's in the folder. There's wax pencil, there's watercolour pencils first.
Yeah.
That's the next one. And then wax pencils after that.
Yeah. And then certificate.
Sorry?
Then your certificate.
Then your certificate and your badge. You get a badge as well.
You get a badge?
Yeah, you get a badge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you do.
What does it say? I am an expert.
It says I
Colourist.
completed the Academy of Colour.
Oh, amazing. Get your pictures in. Johnny's just saying we haven't... I thought I saw some messages coming in that people said that they sent pictures in. Maybe if you have sent in a picture, maybe resend it. Because I've seen a few people said they sent pictures in. I know Lillian sent one. But we were asking earlier on just for pictures of your colouring from the Academy of Colour. Let us know what you've been doing. And if you've got any before and afters as well, you know, like first attempts and then, I don't know, a week later attempts, so that you can compare and contrast. We would love to see them. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, and then we can maybe do a little picture gallery at the end of the show.
Absolutely, that would be lovely. Now, when I put the darker brown on there before, oh, I've just dripped water on me. This is a case of do as I say, not as I do. I've just been holding my wet brush over here and I've dripped water in a couple of places, which is going to faux bleach. So I need to go and put some colour in. So don't hold your wet brush while you're talking over the top of your coloured image. Always move it out the way. But just to reiterate the point there, when I added in the darker brown earlier, it wasn't immediately obvious where the shade was, but now you can see the flat colouring with the first colour. You can see where I've added the shade. And so what that does, by adding that little bit of a darker brown and just choosing where you would like a little bit more shade, it does add depth to your colouring. And you just do that blending directly on top with your almost dry brush. You can see that just adds a little bit more shade in there. So you can take another darker colour and you can add in some shade wherever you would like it. I'm going to have a little bit under here.
Gilmore's just said the mouse reminds me of the mouse that the Leanne posted about on Facebook.
Oh, have you seen that, Ben?
I don't think I have.
Oh, so there's this story, I've put it on my Facebook page, from a crafty person who's been collecting house mouse stamps. Knows the house mouse artist.
Oh, yeah.
I've got several of those myself. And she'd gone down in our basement. I'll do a long story very short because it's quite long. I'll try not to do long story long, which is my... which is my want.
Yes.
I tend to do it. Basically, she went out to our basement for reasons I'll not go into, read it on Facebook, and there was a tiny little house mouse sat in the middle of our basement floor, just sat looking very sad. And she'd approached it quietly, and anyway, it didn't try and move. It looked up at her, and then just put its head on its chest again, looking very sad. Oh. So she'd picked this little house mouse up, this genuine little mouse in her house, and realised it had a poorly leg. So tried to found someone who could tell her how to rehabilitate this little mouse, and they told her how to rehabilitate the little... So she made a little house for it.
Sorry, I'm interested in your story. How did she rehabilitate it?
So she was feeding it like special little foods and like rest for the broken leg, and then she found somewhere where she could go and release it so it could be in a colony with other little house mice. I was fully crying at this point over a little mouse, and she's got a picture of the little mouse on there. Anyway, turns out that the mouse couldn't be rehabilitated. Its poorly leg was broken forever, so it wouldn't be able to go back into a colony. So she decided to adopt it, and she's made it a little house, and she's looking after the little house mouse in her house. I will not be ashamed to tell you, reading that story, I was like, all the way through.
Oh.
There's a little picture of it, and it's sitting, and it just looks like it's sitting with its little head on its chest, and it just looks like I am sick of my life. And she's looked after the little mouse and given it a home.
Well, and is it happy now?
It's a very happy little mouse now.
Even though he's only got...
Even though he's only got half, because he doesn't have to go running around to find his own food, does he? He gets it delivered on a silver salver every day.
That is
Isn't
such
that
a
lovely?
cute story.
Honestly, isn't it?
I'll have to look at that. Is that on your Facebook page?
It's on my Facebook page.
Right.
Have a look.
I'll be looking at that.
Anywho, I'm going to continue colouring the little mouse.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with the umbrella now. So I've got crimson.
Yeah.
So you would continue with the mouse exactly as I've shown you there. I'm not going to finish it because I want to show you a couple of different things. And we're going to see, you're going to be able to watch this, aren't you, with the education when you get the box home. So with the crimson now, I am going to paint a little bit of the umbrella. And I'm going to pop the colour on, and I'm picking it up from the mat and then painting it on. And what I'll do is I'll get so far, Ben, and then stop.
Okay.
And this is the good thing, this is the thing I want you to learn with watercolour, because what's happened is when I've picked this ink up off the mat, look, I've got quite a lot on my brush. So if I don't stop and clean that brush, this whole thing will be solid one colour, and I don't want that. So by cleaning my brush, when I've got so far, cleaning the brush off, so now there's none of that red paint left on there, and it being a little bit damp, what I can do is drag that colour out, and that's where you get that light to dark watercolour effect.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how you manage to do that.
Okay.
So it's cleaning your brush in between, and I think that's one of the things that often gets overlooked. And using your heat gun to dry in between as well.
Yes, all good tips. So I'm slightly distracted because Rachel on the socials has just sent me a picture of the mouse.
Oh, isn't it lovely?
It's really cute. It warms my heart when I read stories or hear about stories like that. I can probably show you on the... There he is, in the little mouse there.
Look at him. Oh, hey, Ben. I am not ashamed to admit that I had a good old sniff when I was reading that story.
Oh. But doesn't it restore your faith in
human nature, doesn't it?
Stuff like that.
And the lady who was advising, I think I'd have to read the story again and remind myself, but the lady who was advising on the mouse colony for rescue was the artist of house mouse stamps.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
it was the
like,
artist. So it was obviously a thing for... Honest, it's just, it's joyous. It restores your faith in human nature, that story. It's
almost
uplifting.
like it was meant to be, doesn't it?
Yes. Kismet.
What?
Kismet. Kismet means...
Oh, like yes.
Yes.
Yes. And Gilmore, you've read my mind as well. This shows how well you know me, Gilmore. She says, Ben is probably imagining a tiny plaster on the little mouse's leg, lol. When Leanne was telling the story, yes, I was imagining almost like the little mouse with his leg out in a little wheelchair, getting pushed along.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
Wheelchair.
I just love little animals, Ben, and I don't want to see any animals harmed.
No. And if you can... Oh, Johnny just said they got the mouse a wheelchair, but it was squeaking.
Don't give up the day job, Johnny. Stick to producing.
Exactly right. That's why you never hear from me. You think my jokes are bad. Robbie says, do I get a badge if I bought them separately? I got my first one from HSN and the rest from Crafter's Companion.
The badge comes in box 6.
Right.
So if you could,
So you could cheat.
You could cheat. I hope you don't cheat.
Leanne will know.
I'll find you. I'll hunt you down. But you could. The badge and the certificate comes in box 6, Ben.
Yeah, but you'll be living in fear if you just buy box 6, won't you? You'll be living in fear. If you've got that badge, one day there'll be a...
There'll be me. Hello? It's the police, Leanne. Dear.
Oh dear. Denise asks, is there a test? Question mark at the end.
There's not.
No, there is no test.
No, there's not.
And Lillian says, is there an award ceremony?
Hey, I like the idea of an
That's a
award
good
ceremony. We could have a virtual award ceremony, couldn't we, Ben? So we could share some of the best things out of the Facebook group.
Yes.
And then we could have like a panel.
Yes.
Here, you need to be on the panel, Ben.
Okay. Well,
so
yes.
me, you.
Yeah.
It's me and you, Ben.
Me and you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah can join in.
Yeah, she wants, you know.
She wants, but just me and you. We're the important two.
Yeah.
And then we could have like a little virtual award ceremony.
I love that. We all get dressed up.
Yes.
Hand out some little certificates.
Like evening canapes.
Yeah. We
Little
get,
glass of fizz.
we could involve more people and have them as like celebrity people to announce
Oh,
the
like on the
open
red
envelope.
carpet. Oh, yes, like on the podium.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm liking this, Ben.
Let's make it so.
Let's make it so.
Yes.
Right, okay, leave that with us.
Okay.
Okay.
Good one, Lillian.
I'm going to think.
We
Thank
like
you,
that.
Lillian.
Robbie, we weren't levelling that at you, by the way. You said, I won't cheat, I will get them all. We're not accusing anyone of being cheats before we start here.
we were pulling your leg,
We were
Robbie.
having a bit of a laugh.
We were.
And Kim says, Leanne, I cried the other day when I saw an advert for training hearing dogs. I felt inspired to try, then realised I'd have to hand them over, and I cried at the thought. I'd only read the article.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh dear.
That would
Do you
be the
know,
thing, wouldn't
anything like that gets me going. I'm terrible. I mean, for example, I was watching his Dark Materials. Have you watched that?
No.
Off the Golden Compass, that series. And I was crying at that. And my husband came into the kitchen, he said, Leanne, please tell me that you are not crying at a CG polar bear. I said, like a computer graphic polar bear. I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, you are pathetic. I'm like, I know, and it's okay. It's okay, I can't help it. It's just the sentiment of the story. Honestly, I cry at everything. I'm terrible. Right. Now then, I've done the red crimson just to show you the next thing I want to show you. See how I put a tiny little bit of black up there?
Yeah.
Could be scary, but what I want you to do is take the red and then the tiniest of black, just a boop.
A little boop.
And then you mix that in there, and then if it's not quite, and then just keep doing that. So tiny boobs. Now look, this is making this into a burgundy now. So all that's doing is giving me a shade of red by putting that black in there. So then when I come in here to do my shading, look, it's still got the red undertone, but because it's got that little bit of black in there,
Yeah.
and then when I drag that out, it just makes that so much more deep, and it gives that shade all the way. And you can do that with black, you can do it with a purple, you can do it with a grey, you can do it with whatever colour you want, like a deep, really deep brown for yellow. Try and stick in the same family and go maybe 5 shades darker, and then that will do that for you. So you can mix new colours as well, Ben, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
And we'll give you all of the instructions to do that. You will continue to do exactly as I'm doing there, following the instructions. When you've finished, you'll have that. And when you pop it on a card, you'll have that.
Fan-bloomintastic. Are we doing like a vote at the end of the show, by the way?
Well, I haven't really finished anything, have I,
That doesn't
Ben?
matter. You did one this morning? Oh, you didn't do one? Oh, no, I think we should definitely do a vote. George, we should definitely do one, because then Leanne will have a card at the end of the week vote, won't she? We'll do it. We'll do one.
Okay.
We'll do one.
But I haven't really done anything.
What? Well, you've done the main colouring, because then you would have just matted and layered it onto the
Yes,
card.
I would
wouldn't
have. That's very true.
you? So you've done the main...
Okay.
What do you guys think? Let me know. Should we do a vote? I think we should. Mary Lee Carroll says, I might just cheat with the Academy of Colour just so I can see Leanne.
That's funny. I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Have the kettle on.
And Christine, she'll sit down and go, right.
Kettle on, because I'll be coming along to say, right, I've got an exam for you now and I'm going to watch you do it all. Do that from box 1 and tell me how you did it.
It's taking a bit of a dark twist, this Academy of Colour, isn't it?
It's
Don't think I
a
want it
bit like,
anymore.
what's her name? With that movie Misery, what was her name?
Oh, yeah, no.
Bates, Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates,
yes,
yeah.
I promise I won't be like Kathy Bates. I haven't got that in me.
Christine says, Leanne, I can't get any of my work done at my house. You're way too good. But I tell you what, you can get a bit of work done in the next couple of minutes because we are going to take a short break. So if you need to get work done, you can do that. Why would you want to do that? But more importantly, you need to get your baskets checked out. Producer Johnny telling me there's loads of you with baskets stacking up here. So if you want to go for the Academy of Colour individually, there's the details. Of course, we've got that Showstopper as well. Well over 40% of the stock of that has gone right now. So anything in baskets needs to be checked out. And then we'll do the sort of final 20 minutes or so of the show with any more questions that you want to ask, any more pics that you want to send in. We'll try and grab those and get those up. And as I say, any more questions, hints, tips and ideas we will throw your way too. But get to the checkouts and we'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes time.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much. Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place.
Because I have a way of words that I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Moseby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
I went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with the and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami. I've got some. We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. You know, we see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. Love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
Welcome back, everybody. Lots of baskets getting checked out. A few more comments coming through. Last chance to ask any questions for Leann on this show. Of course, Leann will be back with me later on when we sort of delve more into the world of alcohol colouring. Angela Blaney just saying, I love his Dark Materials. It's my favourite book trilogy, and the BBC dramatisation is so good. And Christine Mahoney just says, ask Leann if she heard how upset Sarah was that she didn't win Card of the Day yesterday. Haha.
I have heard a rumour. I'm a bit like, what's that song? I heard a rumour. Was that Kylie?
Why do I think it... Oh, no, I think you were right. I was going to say Pepsi and Shirley, but it was, no, Kylie.
Anyway, I heard a rumour.
Yeah. That's not sore subject. We'll not...
Sore subject. Sore loser.
Back. Well, you know.
She's very competitive.
Yeah, very.
She's one of the most competitive people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Very. I mean, I'm competitive.
Yeah.
She makes me look not competitive.
Yeah, I mean, same.
Yeah.
I'd go along with that. Mm-hmm. Very competitive. Too competitive. I know that from the days when, I used to go running with her and whatnot. And
exactly.
No, I'm not going to say it. I'm moving on. Right, let's get back to the watercolour. Nearly shot myself in the foot there. The watercolour Showstopper deal. This is what everyone's going for. I think everybody wants to go. We are well over 40% of the stock gone. Everybody wants to grab the brand new Academy of Colour. I think a lot of people who are getting this as the next bolt on to the other boxes are going, do you know what? For the extra few quid, extra few bucks that I've got to spend to get all the others, I may as well do it, because you know what, you're getting £52 worth, $77 worth of extra product for just over £20 or just over $20. And when you consider what that extra product is, that we're giving you a set of our aqua markers in the primary colours, you're getting one of our discovery kits, you're getting watercolour cardstock, you're getting some of our glitter pens. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if we've just kind of gone brilliant Academy of Colour and then we just thrown a load of stuff in there that's not going to sort of work alongside it, or kind of stuff that we've just found at the back of the warehouse. We're giving you like premium product alongside the brand new launch at a fraction of the price, and I think that's what everyone's realised. They've gone, do you know what, for an extra £20, extra $20, in fact, I'm getting all of that content, I'm grabbing it. It's £44 as well if you're platinum, so you've got that saving already of $31.95 or $56.87. Platinum members save another 20%, bringing it down to this redonkulous price. So it is definitely the way to go. And the other way to think about it is, if you think to yourself, well, I just want to get the Academy of Colour for that extra £20, $50 or $70 worth of product that you can potentially give as gifts, or keep for when you need it. If you've got some other aqua pens, it will run out eventually, obviously, so then you've got another set there that you can use further down the line. However you want to do it, get shopping now though, because we are super duper busy. We've got about another 15 minutes or so left with Leann, so let's have a delve into some final sort of hints, tips and techniques. What can you show us, Leann?
So we're going to have a look at how to colour this little guy. We're going to have a look at how we can, again, do some blending with two different colours, and how to keep it pretty simple, because it doesn't always have to be technique driven. Sometimes it can just be, I've had a nice time colouring that and I'm pleased with it. But actually what I did think I'd do is show you the watercolour tutorials that you're going to learn on the education. Show you them all, because I'm not able to show them all in this 2 hours. So I'll do them on the overhead for you so you can see them. This is the little one that we're doing now. So you will learn how to colour this. And that's the one we've already looked at. And we looked at the mouse as well with the umbrella, didn't we? But we'll also look at this one, where we can get the two-tone on the flower and a little bit of texture, some little cheeks on there. We'll look at doing this. This is going to be a tutorial where you've got all of the, the dress and the watercolour. Look, that little mouse there. We'll do these. And we'll do this. And that's only the watercolour education from this box. You've also got the same number in alcohol. So if you think that you've got those there, that's purely the watercolour element that we're focusing on today. You've got the same number of tutorials in alcohol markers as well within that box if you decide to go for it. Right, so I'm going to use the gold.
Always believe in your soul.
Thank you. That was so much better than Tony.
Tony, oh yeah, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live just around the corner from him.
Did you?
He used to do a lot of local gigs.
He's a nice bloke.
He's a really nice bloke, and I can't remember the primary school, but his daughter was at one of the local primary schools, and at the end of every year, whilst his daughter was there, he'd put on like a free end of year concert. He'd just pitch up and do like a...
Isn't that really nice?
I know, isn't that really nice?
I really like that.
Raise some money for the school.
That's fabulous.
Old Tony was
I
there,
like. So now you say I'm a fan of Tony now, simply for the fact that he's philanthropic like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice.
What a great word.
Gold. You know, gold was a great word, or philanthropic.
Sorry, no, philanthropic is a great word. But I thought you were thinking of what were you doing now, and then it was...
I'm doing the gold, yes, gold. Yeah. So I've got the gold marker, and I'm just going around the outside. So this is similar to what I did with the face on little Fairy Ada, as she's now called.
Does she know that she's a stamp?
She doesn't. I'm going to have to tell her.
Yeah.
But I'm going to find a picture of her. We bought her the most beautiful dressy up outfit for Christmas.
Oh, how old is she now?
She is 2.
2, yeah.
And she loved it. She was a fairy. She was a princess, in fact, for 2 weeks. I'll show you a picture. You'll absolutely love it. And now she is a rock star.
Oh. That's a bit of a departure from the fairy.
She got a microphone, and Mum and Dad. She loves to sing, and she loves her favourite movies, Sing 1 and Sing 2.
Oh, they're great movies.
And she loves to act them out, Ben.
Yes.
And so Mum and Dad got her a child-appropriate microphone. It's pink and sparkly with Ed Sheeran buttons on the base that you can stand on and everything, and it microphones your mouth, and it's like a proper microphone for a little person.
Does it change your voice as well?
No, it just loud.
Ah.
It's a proper microphone. So she can sing in it with her little ukulele and what have you.
Yeah.
Anyway, she decided that she wanted to be Johnny doing Sky Full of Stars from Sing 2 at the end on the piano.
Yeah.
So she set herself up with a little chair, a coffee table, made a piano, got her microphone beside her, lowered, and she literally is sitting on the chair, playing the piano, singing into the microphone. She's a proper little performer.
Oh, I love
that. She acts everything out. I'll show you. You won't believe it when you see.
I definitely need to see that, please.
You do. You will, because I know you like that, because you perform as well, Ben.
Well, now and again,
you do, but you're brilliant at it. You'll really appreciate seeing that. Oh. And then when she's Liam Gallagher, then she rolls her trousers up, so she's got shorts. She has glasses on. Yeah. She has her sweatshirt, and she's got the microphone at full height then, and she's got her guitar.
You sort of lean up to the microphone.
She's leaning up to the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
That is, it's like sort of like stars in her eyes show going on.
Honestly, she loves it. She loves it. So funny. Now, what I did was I put gold around the outside, and notice I cleaned my brush.
Yeah.
And then took off most of the water. And then what I'm doing is exactly as I did with the face, I'm just going to where it is and then dragging it out in the centre, preserving my highlight. So it's lighter in the centre, dark around the outside. You can see how that's coming together there.
Yeah.
Then exactly as I said with the dark, when I said with the black earlier for the umbrella, how you can mix a new colour and do your own shade. And then stick with a new colour family. Well, that's gold. So now I'm going to use an orange, scribble that down beside, and use that to add in the real depth of shade in the colour on the face of this little cat. So I'll go and clean brush again. Always clean your brush. Take off the majority on here. Give it a little ooch around, and then a little bit of that colour in the outside there. Look at the difference that makes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just makes everything else shine and lift, doesn't it? So you're going in with a little bit of a darker colour, tiny bit, just around the outside, blending it in. Keep picking it up from your palette. Keep it in small amounts. In the darker areas where your shade would be, we've already covered how to know where to put shade and light in the previous classes.
Yeah.
When you've done that, clean your brush again. And with a clean, damp brush, you're just agitating the edge of that deeper colour, and that's blending it in with the base and dragging it out, which softens and smooths the edges and preserves your highlight in the centre. So it's still got that lovely shine in there.
Yeah.
You see how it puts the depth of colour in for you. And then what you can do is just take a tiny bit of the light, clean your brush, tiny bit of the light, and then just do a little bit of a wash inside the ear. And that gives you the nice light colour so it doesn't overpower it. Makes it very easy to do. And I mean, would you like me to continue and do some of his body?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the body. So we'll get some more gold then, Ben.
Gold. Do you know what I love watching this as well is the fact that like the designs of the stamps are, I mean, obviously very cute, but so professional. And then when you're adding that bit of colour, I'm looking at the images that you've been colouring today, and like they're almost like straight out of a storybook. Do you know what I mean? They're that sort of. That's the sort of top-notch quality that you get at the end, and it's just so lovely to be able to see this happening.
And Ben, thank you very much for that. I'll pass that on to my team because these are hand-drawn. Every single one of these, hand-drawn by my designers here at Crafters.
And it'd be interesting for, I mean, some people might know, but how do you decide? So obviously, you know, you've got lots of different cute characters in this set, but I guess there must have been more. Like, how do you decide what goes in, or what's the, when you decide, okay, we're going to do
process.
What's the process?
What's the process?
It?
So actually, when we were planning this box, what I do is I list the techniques that I want to cover.
Yeah.
And then after I've listed the techniques, so for example, using a similar colour in this colour family to get depth and shade, using black to make a colour deeper, all of those kinds of things that I want to teach watercolour, how to preserve your highlight, move your colour out. So I'll make a list of the techniques that I think you need, that I'd like to show you, that I want you to learn. And then once I've done a list of the techniques that I want you to learn, I'll then think, what is the best way to show that? How would I demonstrate that most effectively? And then when I've decided that tends to help me choose the character. So for example, the two little bunnies that are in the box, they would be because I wanted to show you how to get textural fur with an alcohol marker.
Right.
So I wanted a lot of open space, so the two little bunnies were best for that. So that's kind of the process that we go through. I decide the techniques that I want to show you, and then from there, choose the characters that will be best. And then the design team will draw them.
Yeah.
And we'll have a look at them, and then we'll critique and say, does that show that technique best? And we're going to really be able to show what we want there, or do we need to change it? Does it need to be different? And then from there, we just settle on the right one. I'm very fortunate that I've got a very fabulous team of designers.
Oh, absolutely,
This one, for example, I wanted open space for watercolouring, which is what you can see I've got here.
Yeah.
To be able to show you how to shade with another colour from the same family, which is what we're doing with the orange. Dragging out the colour so it feels painterly, which is what we're doing now. And then I wanted to show you how to be able to watercolour small areas.
Yeah.
Without it being too difficult. And that's why we've got a bunch of small flowers in the cat's hands. So you can have a look at how to do tiny, tiny details in there as well.
I think it's really important to hear that from you as well, because I'm sure people don't think, but you know, it's so interesting to hear that it's obviously cute characters, but there's stories behind why each character is in the set. It's like when we launched the initial Academy of Colour, I think a lot of people were confused as to why there were stamps in there of like the different shapes.
Oh yes,
people were wondering, well, why are they in there? And that was kind of like the sort of first starting block, wasn't it, to move on from that to then the characters that you had.
Yes, well, because when we did that, so looking at this, for example, when we did that, you're colouring the circles, the spheres here for the body and for the face, and then these are almost triangular, these shapes here. So as you would do the triangle, that's where your light and shade would go. So it helps you look at other shapes and other images and decide where your light and shade and how you'll colour it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason for everything in there.
It's so lovely to hear. Mary Edney's just messaged to say she never wants to see the Academy of Colour end.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a testament and a half, isn't it?
It is. When will the next... So I guess it will be done by this year, won't it?
It'll be... I would imagine it'll be all finished by about May.
May time.
May, June. Middle of the year.
Just thinking when we're going to schedule the awards.
That's ceremony. A very good point. Yeah. I mean, I think we need a summer award ceremony. Do you?
Oh, I really fancy that. Yeah. We'll
I'm excited about that, Ben.
Get a date in the diary. I genuinely want this to happen.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, good.
I'm going to go and talk to our social and marketing teams after this show and say, Ben and I have had a fabulous idea.
I think it'd be great. Who'd be up for that
Get
award
on
ceremony?
board.
Let us know. Who'd be attending
Yes, who'd be attending our virtual award ceremony.
Yeah. It'd be so good, wouldn't it? You
Wouldn't it?
Send in all of your best works. We could have a full-on
Oh gosh, yes, Ben, that's even better.
awards for like, best effort from one particular
the
box.
thing that you're the proudest of. What
Yeah.
are you the proudest of? And then we have a whole. Oh my word! We need to get a trophy. Trophies.
Yeah.
Ben, I'm very on board with this, Ben.
Okay. Well, let's. I mean, I'm not high enough up the food chain to kind of make things like this happen. So.
Well, I'm not sure where I am, but I'll do my best.
You're further up than me, though.
I'll do my best. I'll go and have some conversations with people who can make things happen.
Yeah.
And see what we'll do. But let us know in the comments that you're interested first.
Yeah, Rachel on the socials already said that she's Bagsy being on the chat that day, so we've got someone to help with the chat.
Cool.
A gold marker trophy as well, said Rachel we could have. We could get... Do you remember... John designed the trophies, didn't he, for our craft of the year, which is behind you. We could get him to design some little trophies with the marker pens.
With the marker pens. We've got to do it. We've got to do it, Ben. We've got to do it. It's now. Well, actually, look, we've just got to say it's happening.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it, Ben.
Summertime.
Yeah, in the summer. We're going to make it happen.
Good.
Right, so I've done exactly what I did for the face, and I've finished the little body, and you can see it's coming along exactly the same. You could choose to have a little bit of a brighter, a darker orange in there for the shade if you want to, but you don't have to. But we'll have a look at how to do the leaves now, and the little flowers with some watercolour, and for when you've got a lot of space. Now, with this is when, when you were saying, when do you know to go in with the marker and when do you not, Leanne? When it's tiny areas like this, I always go in with the marker.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to bleed everywhere. I don't pre-wet the card. I just literally draw in, and see here I'm leaving white areas in the centre. That's going to be my preserved highlight. And because I've got this lovely fine tip on the Duo aqua markers, I'm able to go in and be very precise about where I want the colour to be.
Yeah.
And I'll do that on all the flowers. If you try to do this with a paintbrush, it ain't going to end happily. Because it's going to be too wet, you're going to have too much paint on there, and it's going to get into areas where you don't want it to be. Now, you be forgiven for thinking, but that doesn't look watercoloured, Leanne. Bear with me. So you just put your pink in where your flowers are, where you want it to be. And you see, I'm being pretty random, Ben, and I'm leaving some white areas as well. And that's where my preserved highlight's going to be, but I'm not being particularly clever or specific about that. I'm not really working out where that is. I'm just making sure there's some white areas. When I've done that, I'm going to go with my damp brush, and I'm just going to then do dabbing.
Oh, okay.
And then what that does is create the watercolour feel as if I've watercoloured every floral, but I haven't. And then the pink hasn't leaked everywhere, whatever the word, not bled. Bled is the word. The pink hasn't bled everywhere. And so by just taking a damp brush, you see, that softens all of that. And now they look watercoloured. And they're just a bit of a dab of colour and then a tiny bit of water. And then you would do exactly the same with the green. I would set that with my heat gun if I had more time. But what I will do here is just show you again with the green. I'll go in and I'll pop tiny little bits in. See, in these tiny areas, I'm just dabbing it in onto the leaves as well. Not being particularly careful, leaving some white areas.
Yeah.
Leaving some darker areas, and then I'll do exactly what I've just done with the floral, where I'll go in, I've got the little stalks in there, look, I can see them. That's fine. And then I'll go in with my brush, just damp again, and then just soften it. And then they get a watercolour feel to them. Now, the other thing I'll say with this is when you're doing a bouquet, don't be afraid of doing what I'm about to do. So it doesn't have to be very precise always, Ben. You can, with this, go around the outside.
Oh, okay.
Now look.
Oh, that's nice.
That looks really nice.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit of a shadow. So if you're a bit scared of getting it all too precise, don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
Just wipe the damp brush over everywhere. It takes away the stark white and actually just gives a little bit of a halo and looks absolutely fine.
I think it looks even better.
Well, yes, I would argue it does. I would agree with you when you look at the contrast between the two.
Yeah.
You can choose. So that's how you do the little areas, and not be too worried about how you do them. I would have gone back with a pink and just put the centres in. You see, I've done that there. You don't need to watch me do it. But it just lets you see that lovely shine on there, Ben. You'll have a fabulous time. I think the thing is you lose yourself in it, Ben, and the education that we've got will give you confidence, it'll give you support, it'll give you the tips and techniques. It is as if I'm in your home with you and I'm reaching through the screen, taking your hand and saying, come with me, we're going on the journey together. You're going to do some colouring, you're going to have a really nice time, and at the end you're going to be proud of what you've done. And I don't think you can put a price on that, Ben.
Absolutely. I tell you what, it's been such a fab show. I've got lots of your comments to read, and I'll tell you what's coming up later on. We must say a massive thank you to Leanne, though she's got to nip off a little bit early. She's got a big meeting to go to. So Leanne, thank you so much. We'll see you back here at 6.
Yes, you will, for the alcohol colouring.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I know it's going to be great.
I'll see you then.
Thank you so much to Leanne, and thank you to you guys for the comments coming through as well. You guys love the idea of this award ceremony. I'd love it, Ben and Leanne, says Sarah. Debbie Fisher is in touch, says she'll give out an award. I'll put your name down, Debbie. I'll put your name down. Definitely. Brenda says, I love the awards idea, Ben. Would definitely love an awards ceremony, says Mary. I'll have a seat in the front row, says Kim. And Terry Anderson says, I have an idea for the awards ceremony. You could do a commercial. Oh, it's getting big now, this, isn't it? You could do a commercial of selfies with the completion certificate during the ceremony. Love that. Love that. We've got to make this happen. Summertime. But we'll get dolled up. It's going to be amazing. It is in my mind anyway. Kathy says, I love, love, love that kitty. Absolutely beautiful. It comes with the Cute Characters collection. I'll just recap on that for you and then we'll tell you what's coming up later. The Academy of Colour Cute Characters is available individually, so you can see the details on the screen. However, the Showstopper deal is the one that everyone's going for. 50% of the stock has gone. And remember, this collection here, once it sells out, that's it. You'll still be able to get the box, all right? But we've just put together a smaller selection of the Showstoppers, and once they're gone, they are gone. The value for money is insane here because you're going to get the brand new Academy of Colour, and then we're also throwing in some of our premium Spectrum Noir items as well. So you're going to get your set of primary aqua markers, all right? So the dual-ended pens with the brush nib, that Japanese brush nib, and then that fine nib one end. You're going to get a set of our watercolour cardstock, 15 sheets of that. You're also going to get one of our Explorer kits, the Watercolor Explorer kit, which have been so popular since we've launched them. And then you're getting a set of the glitter brush pens as well. Those are coming to you in the soft pastels. Those added extras within that bundle equate, they're £52 basically. If you were to buy them individually, put them in your basket, £52, $77. In the bundle, it works out that you're paying just over £20, just over $20 for everything else alongside the Academy of Colour. So it's a really great value deal, and that's the way most people are going. You're saving $31.95, $56.87, and then your platinum price, I know the majority of you are, £44 or $52. So definitely the way to go. I know lots of you will check out your baskets after the show, but please don't forget to do that because we are now over half the stock of the Showstopper gone. Make sure you pick that up. We are going to be back later on as well. It's a really lovely day today. New Year, New Craft, day number 2. Yesterday was all about die cutting. Today, concentrating on colouring. So whilst this show's featured very heavily on watercolour, in the next show, 6 o'clock tonight, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific, it will be me and Leanne once again, but all about alcohol colouring. So if that is your kind of colouring medium of choice, then make sure you join us for that show. We've got another Showstopper, which we're going to be officially launching in that show for you, but also a great opportunity for you that maybe if you're more of a watercolorer and you haven't done a lot with our alcohol pens, a great show to tune in for, because once again, Leanne will be showing you loads of hints and tips, loads of ideas, loads of techniques, and she'll answer all of those questions as well for you. So really worth tuning in for that show a little bit later on this evening, to say 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Right, what a fantastic show. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you for all the comments as well. Make sure you head to the checkouts, check out those baskets. Don't forget as well, whilst you're on the website, to check out the sale page, up to 23% off today. Loads of colouring items at the website, so that's worth a little bit of a look as well. And I will see you back here with Leanne in a couple of hours' time. Until then, check out those baskets, and I'll see you in a couple of hours. Bye for now.